the Trump election campaign was a great drama, and there was a kind of victimized femininity, let's say, on the Democrat side, with Kamala Harris and her cohorts really emblematic of that. And then what did we have on the Trump side? Well, one of the most dramatic portrayals, maybe the most dramatic portrayal of what we had on the Trump side, was Trump's response to being shot. It was like this.
Yeah.
Right? Go to hell. You're not stopping me, no matter what. And like, as Musk pointed out, that's not staged. And you know, it was so interesting watching the victimized Democrat response to that, because their response was open-mouthed amazement that anything like that could even be possible. It must have been a hoax, because no one could possibly react like that.
Yeah.
It's like, well, wrong. Trump could react like that, and despite whatever faults he might have, that's what he's like. He got up and said, "You're not stopping me no matter what." And you know, more power to him. And I don't think it's an overestimate to presume that that won him the election.
I totally agree.
And you can see the immense literary drama there.
You know what, Jordan? I've just written exactly that. I've done the Spectator magazine diary this week. And I said, when I think back, I spoke to Trump 4 times in the last few weeks of the race, including a week after he got shot, when he saw me talking about it on TV in America, and he called me. And we had a fascinating conversation. He said it had reinvigorated his faith in God, because he said God must have wanted me to survive. Because he said literally he was alive because he moved his head half an inch to read some charts on the teleprompter. And if he hadn't, he'd be dead. And secondly, that he, you know, I said to him, amazing you're back out doing rallies so soon. And he went, well, I knew if I didn't do it quickly, I may not ever do it, which I thought was one of the very few times I've seen any vulnerability for Trump. But of course that. But the balls, not just to stand back up when he got shot, to stand back up saying fight, 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 when he didn't know if there were other shooters out there. But secondly, to get back on a stage in front of 20,000 people, none of whom you know, a week later, and to keep doing it, sometimes much bigger crowds, especially when there was a second attempt to kill him a few weeks later, where literally a Secret Service agent walking ahead of him on a golf course saw the barrel of an AK-47 poke out of a bush. And if he hadn't, Trump would have been there 4 minutes later and would be dead. So twice in the space of 2 months, Trump came very, very close to being assassinated. And yet it didn't stop him getting back out there. And I do think, when I think back on the whole thing, there were lots of components to why he won, not least the incompetence of the opposition. However, I think regular Americans, and the rest of the world actually, but regular Americans looked at his strength literally under fire, and his resilience and his determination to keep pounding on. I think they looked at that and thought, you know what, after everything that's been thrown at him, the weaponizing of the justice system, literal attempts to kill him, and all the rest of it, look at him, he's still pounding on. And it's a really admirable quality in a man, right?
Absolutely. Well, and you know, you pointed out that it wasn't only the fact that he immediately leapt up on stage and basically said, go to hell, you're not stopping me.
Yeah.
But then also that he continued to speak and didn't take, what would you say, even perhaps warranted precautions. It's the perfect thing to do psychologically, because if you shrink away in consequence of that threat, you live in fear for the rest of your life. And Trump's determination was obviously, no matter what, I won't live in fear. And that's the same decision Job makes, by the way, in the book of Job. Is a decision not to lose faith and not to live in fear, no matter what, right? No matter what. And that is a manifestation of the spirit that is indomitable. And I think that is a reflection of the image of God.
Yeah.
And so,
you know, Jordan,
I don't think the divine providence with regards to Trump wasn't the fact that he turned his head at the proper moment. The divine providence with regard to Trump was that he jumped up immediately afterwards and said, you're not stopping me.
Yeah, I completely agree. Jordan, I've got to leave you there. I don't want to, because it's been absolutely, as always with you, a riveting interview. My deepest condolences on losing both of your parents. It must be an enormous moment in your life, and the fact you've talked about it so openly, I really appreciate that. I wasn't sure if you would want to or anything, but I found your obituary for your dad just so moving that I really wanted to discuss it with you. But also, I'm going to end with some news that I know would have made them, I'm sure, very, very proud, and will make you very happy, and will make your most savage critics very unhappy, because as we've been talking, your book has moved to #1 in the Amazon bestseller list. You are back where you normally are with your books, Jordan. You're #1. Congratulations.
Well, thank you, sir. And thank you very much for highlighting the obituary. Much appreciated. That was a unexpected benefit to doing this interview, and a great testament to my father and his indomitable spirit.
Which lives on with you, Jordan. And that's very clear to me. When I read it, I just thought, yeah, I can see now. I see where Jordan gets all this from. And he was very proud of you, and you rightly are very proud of him. But thank you very much indeed.
Very good to see you, Piers. Thanks again.